Bhagavate Narayan Namaskritya Naram Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Vate Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 16, the Lord's attempt to go to Vrindavan. Text 201. So yesterday we studied how that Muslim governor came and first he took darshan of the Lord and he started chanting and he provided all the facilities for the Lord to go to cross on that river and go to banks of the Ganges. So another thing I was thinking, see that Muslim governor, although when he saw the Lord, his heart was completely transformed. And he was saying, why did I take birth as a Muslim in a Muslim family? And although he was crying, his heart was completely transformed. So although he was a meat eater, drunkard, everything, but his heart got transformed. But look at so many people, even now we are talking. And although we have been chanting, we have been practicing Krishna consciousness, still the heart hasn't transformed yet. It's so unbelievable. How long? I mean, obviously, how many sins I must have committed, and how much longer will it take for the heart to transform? He just served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like anything. He provided so many boats, and then he himself went with Mahaprabhu. Amazing. Alokik Leela kare Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Yai iha shune tara janma deh danya. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are all uncommon. Whoever listens to his activities becomes glorious and his life becomes perfect. Sai nauka chadi Prabhu aila pani hati, navikera padaila necha kripa shati. The Lord finally reached Panihati, and as an act of mercy, he gave the captain of the boat one of his personal garments. Prabhu aila bali loke haila kola hal, manushya barila sabha kiva jalastha. The place called Panihati was located on the bank of the Ganga. After hearing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had arrived, all kinds of men assembled both on land and on the water. The village of Panihati is situated on the banks of the Ganga near Khadadaha. It's actually, this village is very close to the airport, Calcutta airport. Raga Panditasi Prabhu Laya Gela, Pathe Yate Loka Gila, Kashte Shrishpe Aila. At length, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken away by Raga Pandit. There was a great crowd assembled along the way, and the Lord reached Raga Pandit's residence with great difficulty. Ek din Prabhu tatha kariya nivasa, prate kumar hat aila yahashvi nivasa. The Lord stayed at Raga Pandit's place for only one day. The next morning, he went to Kumarahatta, where Srivas Thakur lived. The present name of Kumarhatta is Hali Sahar. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, Srivas Thakur left Navdeep due to separation from him and went to Hali Sahar to live. From Kumarhatta, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Kanchanapalli, also known as Kanchalapara, where Shivanand Sen lived. After staying 2 days at Shivanand's house, the Lord went to the house of Vasudeva Datta. From there, he went to the western side of Navadvip, to the village called Vidyanagar. From Vidyanagar, he went to Kulyagra and stayed at Madhav Das. He stayed there 1 week and excused the offenses of Devanand and others. Due to Kaviraj Goswami's mentioning the name of Shantipuracharya, some people think that Kulya is a village near Kanchadapada. Due to this mistaken idea, they invented another place known as New Kulyara Pata. Actually, such a place does not exist. Leaving the house of Vasudeva Datta, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of Advaita Acharya. From there, he went to the western side of Navadvip, to Vidyanagar, and stayed at the house of Vidya Vachaspati. These accounts are given in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak, and Chaitanya Charita Kavya. Srila Kaviraj Goswami has not vividly described his entire tour. Therefore, on the basis of Chaitanya Charitamrita, some unscrupulous people have invented a place called Kulyara Pata, near Kanchada Pada. तहाँ हैते आगे गेला शिवानंद घाट वासुदेव गृहे पाछे आइला ईश्वर. From the house of Srivas Thakur, the Lord went to the house of Shivanand Sen, and then to the house of Vasudeva Datta. Vachaspati grihe prabhu yema tera hila, lok bhid bhai aiche kuliya ai. The Lord remained some time at the house of Vidya Vachaspati. But then, because it was too crowded, he went to Kulia. So this pastime of the Lord, it is mentioned in some detail here, so we'll read it. It's a wonderful pastime. Now, Vidya Vachaspati is brother of Sarvam Bhattacharya. The house of Vidya Vachaspati was located at Vidyanagar, which was near Koladvip or Kulya. It was here that Devanand Pandit was residing. This information is found in Chaitanya Bhagavat. In the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak, the following statement is given about Kulya. From there, the Lord went to the house of Srivas Pandit in Kumar Bhatta. From the house of Srivas Acharya, the Lord went to the house of Advaita Acharya, from where he was offered obeisances by Haridas Thakur. The Lord then took a boat to the other side of Navadvip to a place called Kulya, where he stayed 7 days at the house of Madhav Das. He then proceeded along the banks of the Ganga. In Sri Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya, it is stated, the Lord went to the western side of the Ganga at Navadvip, and everyone was pleased to see the Lord coming. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is stated, the Lord suddenly came to Vidyanagar with a full party and stayed there in the house of Vidya Vachaspati. Thus, throughout Navadvip, the Lord's arrival was made known. Thus, the chief of all the sannyasis, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, arrived at the house of Vidya Vachaspati. As further stated, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at Vidya Vachaspati's house, many hundreds of thousands of people went to see him and chant the holy name of Hari. It was so crowded that people could not even find a place to walk. Therefore, they made room by clearing out the jungles near the village. You can only imagine how many people were there. Many roads were automatically excavated, and many people also came by boat to see the Lord. So many came that it was difficult for the boatmen to get them across the river. And here it is not mentioned, but people, so many people were coming to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu across Ganges, across Ganga, that, as it is said, that there were not enough boats to carry them across. So they were ready to pay bribes to the boatmen. Please take me, please take me. You take more money, I'll give you more money. Just take me, don't take others. And how many boats, how many people boatmen could take? There's a limit. So, so the boats were overcrowded, and in the midstream, the boats, many of the boats capsized. They just went upside down. But but nobody drowned. Everybody got across because it was Mahaprabhu's mercy. And those who could not pay to the boatmen, now they also wanted to cross to take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So some of them grabbed onto the pots, empty pots, and they just swept across, swam across, carrying the pot. Some people just they didn't have anything, so they just cut some trees and put the branches of the trees in the river, and they just held on to the branches and got across. And some couldn't even do that. So they put their chadar on the river and they just sat down on the chadar and they got across. It was never heard of, anyone never seen this thing before. But because they were so eager to see Mahaprabhu, so Mahaprabhu's mercy was there and they all got across. Okay, now further. When Vidya Vachaspati suddenly arrived, he made arrangements for many boats to receive these people, but people would not wait for the boats. Somehow or other, they crossed a river and hurried towards the house of Vidya Vachaspati. So somehow or other, I just explained. Due to this great crowd, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu secretly went to Kulyanagar. But before that, okay, so he went to Kulya from the house of Vidyavachas. After the Lord left Vidyanagar, however, all the people heard news of his leaving. They then accompanied Vachaspati to Kulyanagar. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just got out of the house somehow from back door or something, and he left Vidyavachaspati's house. So much of crowd was there. And the crowd, they went crazy when Vidyavachaspati came out and they said, Mahaprabhu is not here, he has left. And they wouldn't believe him. They started, they were telling him, okay, we'll give you some money, just let me take darshan, of Mahaprabhu. And Vidyavachaspati, there's nobody in the house, come look in the house. So some people came, looked inside the house, nobody is there. And then Vidyavachaspati knew Mahaprabhu went to Kulya, so he said, okay, let's all go to Kulya. So they then accompanied with Vachaspati to Kulyanagar. Since the news of the Lord's arrival was immediately broadcast, large crowds arrived and greeted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great jubilation. Indeed, when the crowd went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it increased 10,000 times in number. Of course, scriptures won't lie. 10,000 times, not just 10,000 people. 10,000 times. So many people. No one could say how many people crossed the river to see him, but many hundreds of thousands made a great tumult when crossing the river Ganga. After crossing the river, everyone began to embrace one another because they heard the good news of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival. Thus, all the inhabitants of Kulya, sinful, intermediate, and spiritually advanced, were delivered and glorified by Sri Chaitanya. So people, when they were waiting outside the house where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying in Kulya, they were waiting, and they all were chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And just imagine, and thousands of people were there chanting together, and people were in the eagerness to take darshan of the Lord. They were climbing on the trees. And so many people on every tree, the trees would have fallen down, broken, but nothing happened. Even the branches, some branches of the trees, they were eagerly waiting outside for Mahaprabhu to come. And when Mahaprabhu heard that so many people are there chanting the names of Krishna, so he came out, and this is what it is said. There was the jubilation, and everybody. There was a tumultuous sound when Mahaprabhu came to me. But this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, actually. Harinam. So everybody could chant freely. There are no limitations, no bounding on anybody. Who can chant, who cannot. But and this is also the reason Mahaprabhu took sannyas. When he was not a sannyasi, when he was Nimai Pandit, the teacher of grammar in Navadvip, people were not taking him seriously. But he took sannyas, and then he went to Jagannath Puri. Now people here in Navadvip, they were all lamenting that they missed the opportunity to take darshan of Nimai or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they missed the opportunity to take his association. So when Mahaprabhu came back, he is on his way to Vrindavan. He wasn't here for good, but he came back, and people got this news. So they ran to rectify their mistake, take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and chant the holy names. What he came to give us. As stated in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Khana Yoda, Badagachi, and Dogachia, and then crossed the Ganga before arriving in Kulia. As stated in Chaitanya Mangal, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked through Radhadesh and gradually arrived at the Ganga. After bathing in the river, he crossed it and went to Kulia. Because he had promised his mother he would return to Navadvip, he went to Varkona Ghat, a village near his house. In the commentary of Premadas, it is said, everyone knows that in the middle of Nadia is a village named Kulia Pahadapura. Kulia Pahadapura. So this Kulia village, now it's called Navadvip. So Navadvip, those who have gone to Mayapur, now the Ganga flows between Navadvip and Mayapur. Earlier it was one, but now Ganga flows between us. Shri Narahari Chakravarti or Ghanshyam Das has written in his Bhakti Ratnaka. He said, O Srinivas, just see the town of Kulia Pahadapur, which was previously known as Koladvip. In a book named Navadvip Dham Parikrama, also written by Ghanshyam Das, it is stated the town of Kulia Pahadapur was previously named Koladvip Parvata Khyananda. Therefore, one can conclude that the present-day city of Navadvip and the places known as Bahirdvip, Koler Ganja, Kola Amada, Kolera Daha, Gadakhali, etc., were known as Kulia. But the so-called Kulia Arapada is not the original Kulia. Madhav Das Grihe Tatha Shachirananda Daksha Koti Lok Tatha Paila Darshan. When the Lord stayed at the house of Madhav Das, many hundreds of thousands of people came to see him. Madhav Das is identified as follows. In the family of Shrikar Chattopadhyay, Yudhishthir Chattopadhyay took his birth. Formerly, he and his family members lived in Bilvagram and Patuli. From there, he went to Kulia Pahadapur, formerly known as Padapur. The eldest son of Yudhishthir Chattopadhyay was known as Madhav Das. The second son was called Haridas, and the youngest son was called Krishna Sampatti Chattopadhyay. The three brothers' nicknames were Chakadi, Tinakadi, and Dukadi. The grandson of Madhav Das was named Vanshivardhan, and during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, some of the Vanshivardhan's descendants, including those of his grandson Ramchandra, were still living at Bhagnapada, Bainchi, and other places. Okay, little background. सात दिन रहित था लोक निस्तारीला सब अपराधी गणे प्रकारे तारीला. The Lord stayed there for 7 days and delivered all kinds of offenders and sinners. Shantipura Charya Grihe Aiche Aila, Shachi Mata Mili Tara Dukha Khandaila. After leaving Pulia, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the house of Advaita Acharya at Shantipur. It was there that the Lord's mother, Shachi Mata, met him and was thus relieved of her great unhappiness. Tabe Rama Keli Grame Prabhu Yaicha Gehela, Natashala Haite Prabhu Puna Firi Aila. The Lord then visited the village known as Ramkeli and the place known as Kanai Natshala. From there, he returned to Shantipur. So this has been described earlier, and in Chaitanya Bhagavad is described in great detail. The Ramkeli is not near Shantipur; it's a little far away. But Mahaprabhu went there. And when Mahaprabhu was going from Shantipur to Ramkeli, that devotee, Narsimhananda Brahmachari, in his meditation, he just made the best road possible for Mahaprabhu to walk to Ramkeli. And the road that he was making in his mind was made of all kinds of jewels, and there were lakes nearby, and he was trying to give the best possible atmosphere for Mahaprabhu and all the devotees to walk on. And there were water fountains, and there were places to sit and stay for them to relax. And this, all he was meditating on this, and he was making this road. And he was meditating on how Mahaprabhu is dancing and chanting, and all the devotees along. They were dancing. And this way he was making the road, and he went making all the way to this place called Kanai Natshala. A Kanai Natshala is also called Gupta Vrindavan. And when he was making the road at Kanai Natshala, his meditation broke. So he could not meditate further. So then he declared that Mahaprabhu is not going beyond Kanai Natshala. And this is why it said from there, he returned to Shanti. He did not go to Vrindavan. At Ramkeli, this place Ramkeli, he met Rup Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and their brother Anupam Goswami. And Jeev Goswami, the son of Anupam Goswami, was a little boy. Well, see, he took darshan of Mahaprabhu from outside. He did not meet. I don't think he met Mahaprabhu there. But he went to Ramkeli, actually, just to meet these two brothers, or these three brothers. Shantipure Puna Kaila Dashadina Vas Vistari Varniya Chena Vrindavanandasa. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Shantipur for 10 days. This has all been described very elaborately by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Atir iha tara na kailum vistara punarukti hai grantha badaye apara. I will not narrate these incidents because they've already been described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. There is no need to repeat the same information, for such repetition would unlimitedly increase the size of this book. Tara madhya milila yaicha rupa sanatana Narsimhananda kaila yaicha pathera sajan sutra madhya sayi lila amitavarni ate puna tatha ihana likhi. Those narrations tell how Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met the brothers Rupa and Sanatana, and now Narsimhananda, and how Narsimhananda decorated the road. I have already described this in an earlier synopsis of this book. Therefore, I'll not repeat the narrations here. Punarapi Prabhu Yati Shantipura Aila Raghunatha Dasa Prabhure Melila. When Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Shantipur, Raghunath Das came to meet him. Hiranya Govardhan Dui Sahudara Saptagrame Bar Laksha Mudrarishwara. Two brothers named Hiranya and Govardhan. So, okay, now he is telling the detail about Raghunath Goswami. So, two brothers named Hiranya and Govardhan, who were residents of Saptagram, had an annual income of, just imagine, at that time, 500 years ago, Saptagrame 12 laksha mudra ishvara, 12 laksha. So, I had an annual income of 1.2 million rupees. 12 laksha, 12 lakh, 12 lakh rupees annual income. So monthly income of 1 lakh rupees. 500 years ago. Can we imagine that? All I remember is when we were little, going to school, father was not earning, I think, what, 3,000-4,000 rupees a month in a government job, and that was plenty. And just imagine, 500 years ago, 1 lakh rupees per month income. How rich Raghunath Goswami. And these two brothers, Hiranya and Govardhan, I don't remember. I think Hiranya Majumdar Govardhan was the son of the father of Raghunath Goswami, and Hiranya didn't have any son. So Raghunath Goswami was only descendant, only heir to this much wealth. Hiranya and Govardhan were inhabitants of Saptagram in the district of Hooghly. Actually, they were not inhabitants, not of Saptagram. Actually, they were not of Saptagram, but of a village nearby called Krishnapur. And actually, that place is near Panihati. They took their birth in a big Kayasa family, and although their family title has not been ascertained, it is known that they came from an aristocratic family. The elder brother's name was Hiranya Majumdar, and the younger brother's name was Govardhan Majumdar. Sri Raghunath Das was the son of Govardhan Majumdar. Their family priest was Balramacharya, who was a favorite of Haridas Thakur. In the families, the spiritual master was Yadunandanacharya, a favorite of Vasudev Dattas. The village of Saptagram is located on the Eastern Railway from Calcutta to Burdwan, and presently the railway station is called Trishbigha. In those days, there was a large river there known as Saraswati, and present-day Trishbigha is a great port. In 1592, the Pathans invaded, and due to flooding of the Saraswati River in the year 1632, this great port was partially destroyed. It is said that in the 17th and 18th centuries, Portuguese businessmen used to come aboard their ships. In those days, Saptagram, situated on the southern side of Bengal, was very rich and popular. The merchants who were the principal residents were called Saptagram Suvarna Vaniks. There were many rich people there, and Hiranya Majumdar and Govardhan Majumdar belonged to the Kayast community. They also were very rich, so much so that it is mentioned in this verse that their annual income as landlords amounted to 12 lakh rupees. In this connection, one may refer to Adi Lila, which describes Udharan Datta, who also belonged to Saptagrami Suvarna Vanik community. Mahaishwarya Yukta Duhe Vadanya Brahmanya Sadachari Satkulin Dharmika Agraganya. Both Hiranya Majumdar and Govardhan Majumdar were very opulent and magnanimous. They were well behaved and devoted to Brahminical culture. They belonged to an aristocratic family, and among religionists, they were predominant. Nadyavasi Brahmanera Upajivya Praya Artha Bhumi Grama Diya Karena Sahaya. Practically all the Brahmins residing in Nadia were dependent on the charity of Hiranya and Govardhan, who gave them money, land, and villages. So although Navdeep was very opulent and populous during Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, practically all the Brahmins depended on the charity of Hiranya and Govardhan. Because the brothers highly respected the Brahmins, they very liberally gave them money. नीलांबर चक्रवर्ती आराध्य दुहार चक्रवर्ती करे दुहाए भ्रातृव्यवाह. Nilambar Chakravarti, the grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was worshipped by these two brothers. But Nilambar Chakravarti used to treat them as his own brothers. Mishra Purandera Purve Kari Hachin Sevane Atev Prabhu Bhala Jane Dui Jan. Formerly, these two brothers had rendered much service to Mishra Purandar, the father of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of this, the Lord knew them very well. Sei Govardhaner Putra Raghunath Das Balyakala Aite Teho Vishaye Udas. Raghunath Das was the son of Govardhan Majumdar. From childhood, he was uninterested in material enjoyment. Just so much of opulence, he was completely uninterested. Sannyas Kari Prabhu Jabe Shantipura Aila Tabe Asi Raghunath Prabhu Re Milila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Shantipur after accepting the renounced order, Raghunath Das met him. Prabhu Charane Pade Prema Vishkahaya Prabhu Pada Sparsha Kaila Karuna Kariya. When Raghunath Das went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fell at the Lord's lotus feet in ecstatic love. Showing him mercy, the Lord touched him with his feet. Tara Pita Sada Kare Acharya Sevana Atev Acharya Tare Aila Prasana. Raghunath Das's father, Govardhan, always rendered much service to Advaita Acharya. Consequently, Advaita Acharya was very pleased with the family. Acharya Prashade Paila Prabhu Ruchishta Pata Prabhu Racharan Dekhe Din Panchasat. When Raghunath Das was there, Advaita Acharya favored him by giving him the food remnants left by the Lord. Raghunath Das was thus engaged for 5 or 7 days in rendering service to the Lord's lotus feet. Prabhu Tare Vedai Diya Gela Nila Chal Teho Ghare Asi Haila Premete Paga. After bidding farewell to Raghunath Das, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Jagannath Puri. After returning home, Raghunath Das became mad with ecstatic love. बार बार पलाए ते हो नीलाद्री जाई ते पिता तारे बांधी रखे ani पथ आई थे. Raghunath Das used to run away from home again and again to go to Jagannath Puri, but his father kept binding him and bringing him back. I'll take this in story tomorrow. It's a little long pastime. The wonderful pastime of Raghunath Das used to tries to run away every time and go to Jagannath Puri. So much mad and ecstatic love that he could not stay in his house any longer. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji's salary in 70s used to be in hundreds, not in thousands. I started in 72 with a salary of 375. My father was a government servant and his salary was 250. So it was never in thousands those days.
Really?
Prabhuji, my father was at 150 starting in
I
75.
have started in April 72. My first salary was in 375 rupees.
Wow.
So
It
it
just
was never in
imagine
thousands.
1 lakh rupees per month 500 years ago.
Yeah.
Even right now,
Prabhuji,
1
he
lakh
was
rupees
super
in
rich.
India is good enough salary.
He is called highly paid.
Yeah. Wow. So who says Krishna devotees cannot be rich?
Hmm.
Okay, chalo, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank you,
Jai Shri
Prabhupada.
Prabhu.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhupada.
you.